I think this is what we're gonna go with. Okay. Should probably pull up my notes. I apologize. You will hear my keyboard. I am gonna split because I'm hoping to get a good split, a good time here today. Again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. That's my bad. I don't know why I was struggling so much. Anyway, so let's get started. So Star Ocean 1 for the PSP is the first. It's called Star Ocean First Departure. Let me turn my little hotkeys back on, and then we're gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna give a countdown, and then I'm gonna hit enter. Then I gotta 3, 2, 1, go. Should probably start my splits. Okay, so that first opening cutscene, this opening cutscene, you can't skip. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think at the same time and type. Anyway, you can't skip this opening, this very first cutscene. You have to let it roll. The first part of it you can skip where that planet explodes, but this part you can't. And it's just these animated cutscenes.
Hey,
There's actually a couple of these animated cutscenes that are pretty long. This being the first, and there's one on Mount Marathon.
What do you really think about her anyway?
This game is a remake of the Super Famicom version of the game. It is essentially the exact same game. We're going to do the same things, we're going to fight the same bosses. It's essentially the same game with updated graphics, the animated cutscenes, new music, all those remasters that you'd have on a PSP.
Millie!
The biggest difference is that this game is built on the same engine that Star Ocean 2 is. It's essentially the exact same
If you've got time to complain about me, you've got time to work.
Second
There's nothing to do around here, Millie.
The only difference is a couple of items aren't available in this game that are available in Star Ocean Second Evolution.
We can all do it together.
Such as the Eternal Sphere. I can't make the
Roddick,
Eternal
you come
Sphere
with us
and some other things that are unique
It's
to that
settled
game.
then. We'll all go together.
So, the start of this game is we're going to go out on patrol because we are the defense force for a small town called Kratos on Roke. Roke was in Star Ocean 4. I'm going to do some menuing in just a second. I've got to pick up a couple of items. I'm going to pick up this Resurrection Elixir and a Flare Bomb. The Flare Bomb I'm going to use against the first boss. And then I'm going to take out Roddick, or Dorn and Millie out of my party. So, the trigger, the story trigger for this area is to talk to this little girl, Sheena, and then talk to Millie's father, Matroth, which is funny, his name is Millie's dad, Matroth. And then we're going to run back up here and trigger this next cutscene. I'm going to fight some bandits, nothing spectacular. I'll explain the combat in just a minute. By the way, if you're wearing headsets, please be prepared for the flare bomb sound. It is quite loud. It's much louder than like every other sound in this game. So I apologize. It is going to be something that I have to use a few times on the run. We fight this battle. The reason I took Millie and Dorn out of my party is because I need Roddick to get as much experience as possible. Because I need him to have skill points for later. So what I'm going to do here is I got to kill these funny thieves. This game uses a combo system that is very similar to what you... Well, it's exactly the same as what you'd see in Star Ocean the Second Story. Except this game, unlike in Star Ocean the Second Story where you have to get an ability called Combo, in this game you can just combo. So I can use killer moves at the end of combos. I can also cancel my combos. But for now, we're just going to beat these guys to death. They each take 2 hits. Very easy to kill. The funny thieves can be kind of annoying, and this is a little dangerous when you do it this way because they can do exactly what they just did to me there and surround Roddick. They can also cluster like that where they just get brutally murdered. Good news is that I don't need HP for this next fight because I'm going to kill them with a flare bomb. There is a possibility that I will get an item off this boss called the Fanfic X, which will be incredibly useful. However, if I don't get it, it's not a big deal. And I'll talk about it in just a minute. So this fight, again, I'm going to use a flare bomb. It's going to be loud. So the trick to this fight is just to pull everybody together. I'm going to do right here. I need this other funny thief to... Oh, I might die here, actually.
I'm still going.
Alright, we're good. And they're all dead. And that's the end of the fight.
That was
I didn't get it. That's fine. That's totally cool. The Fanfic X sells for 125,000 full, and it's fine. So now we're going to have a lot of dead time right here. There's going to be a lot of story things that I have to do, and that's pretty much it. There's a lot of mashing. So I'll explain what's going on. What's happening now is we're all talking about how we've just brutally murdered these thieves, and we're awesome. And we're great. All those things. Roddick will always be level 4 coming out of there. So there are a couple of tricks I'm going to execute in this game as far as manipulating my party and utilizing certain mechanics of the game to abuse, well, the game itself. The first thing of which is when I took Roddick and Dorn and Millie out of my party, what it does is this game splits experience based on the number of characters you have in your party during the battle. So when I took them out of my party, I was able to get Roddick a couple of extra levels and extra experience, which is very useful. The other thing that it did is it allows Roddick to be high enough level to escape from battles. Escaping from battles in this game is based strictly on the level of your characters in your party, and the more characters you have in your party, the longer it takes to run away. So what I've done is I've made Roddick high enough level to run from all the battles that I'll encounter between here and Cool. And what that does is it also lets me just have Roddick in my party and be fairly safe. Even in surprise attacks, Roddick should be able to escape from all the battles here. It also makes Roddick do more damage against the rockworms coming up, because I do have to fight some mandatory battles that causes that I have to kill them, and Roddick being higher level just means he kills them much faster. Right now, the mayor is, or the captain, apologies, is congratulating us, giving us some items. All the items I'm going to pick up are going to be sold eventually, because I need the money. So I have to go do this next story trigger, where I'm going to go to Cool, and then I'm going to come back. Again, I have to take Dorn out of my party, because for some reason the game puts Dorn back in my party. So I have to menu right here. In the old route, before I redid the route that I have, oh, I'm sorry, he's level 3. Apologies, level 3 allows you to escape from everything here. So, again, before I redid the route, I had to reload. I used to have to reload a file there.
Let's go.
And get so I could have the fanfic to fix some money, but later I don't have to worry about it. Normally I'd also change my formation to escape formation, which puts Roddick as far away from the enemies as possible to make it a little bit safer, but I'm not going to do that right now because it's not relevant. I actually want him kind of where he's at, just because the fights with the rockworms, I have to be right next to them. So this story trigger is very simple. You just go in here. And I went back into Cool because you have to hold up here, not down. It's kind of confusing. Anytime you guys see the screen flash, that is because the PSP cord that is going to my capture is garbage. It's nothing to do with anything else. I apologize for that. There's really not a whole lot you can do. PSP capturing is kind of wonky sometimes. So I got 2 battles. That's really unfortunate. You can actually do that entire walk without getting any battles. Those guys, particularly those enemies, the bunnies and the dogs, are the slowest enemies to run from, because they're higher level. But again, we're under no threat of death, so we're good. We're going to come back. We're going to find out that Cool has been struck by a plague, if you will, where people are turning to stone. If that sounds familiar to you, it's because it is. This is kind of a theme they used in this game in Star Ocean 4. And Matroth, who is a healer, is going to come here, and then he's going to go ahead and go try to help them.
Yeah.
A couple days pass, we don't hear from him. And we're just going to go through more story stuff here. Nothing really spectacular going on, just lots of mashing, plot development, determining what's going on. Most of the mechanics that I've already abused, being higher level, manipulating my experience, things like that, are just going to be abused throughout the game, as well as a long item creation sequence later. But we'll talk about that when we get there. Essentially, everyone does get stoned to death. The entire planet does get turned to stone, pretty much. So we're going to get a bird now. It does. This game plays exactly like Star Ocean: The Second Story, or Star Ocean: The Second Evolution. It's the same engine, it's just upgraded. It has the exact same skill system as Star Ocean: The Second Story. So, or I'm sorry, as Star Ocean First Departure, or Second Evolution, not Star Ocean First Departure, or Second Story. They overhauled that a little bit and made it a little bit different. So, I have to take Dorn back out of my party here, I believe, because again, we don't want Dorn in our party. If I had Dorn in my party and got a battle before getting to Cool, I would have to fight it because I can't. You can't escape fast enough. Excuse me. It would be faster to run. Or to fight it than to actually try to run, because Dorn would just slow me down. Dorn is essentially a throwaway character. He doesn't do anything. He's going to be leaving our party here in a little while and never coming back. He's kind of like your token friend. So Millie ran off to see her father, Matroth, who sent us a letter that said he's turning to stone and there's nothing that anyone can do and don't come to Cool. Well, of course, kids don't listen, so... we're not going to pick up... There are some treasure chests here in Cool that I'm going to pick up in a little while because I do need the money. My money is very tight at the start of this game, but I'm going to pick them up when I come through Cool later. I'm not going to pick them up right now. There's no reason to. It's the exact same time to pick them up later as it is to get them now, and there's no reason to pick them up now. Dorn touched the letter that Matroth sent, and this particular disease is spread through touch, so Dorn actually gets the disease. Ironically, or somehow, Millie and Roddick completely avoid touching anyone with this disease, even though I ran into that guy who was stoned outside. This is where Dorn reveals that he's dying. It's very sad, even though no one cares about Dorn. The main problem with this speedrun is there are a couple of reset points. There are a couple of reset points based on skills. Apologies, someone was talking to me. So yeah, based on skills that we have. I should have checked Roddick's skills, but I'll check him here in just a minute. So. This is PSP. This is the PSP version of the game. So again, I have to take another character out of my party. I'll check Roddick's skills now. He will always come with originality and love of animals. That's kind of unfortunate. But it's okay. He didn't come with the 2 music talents, which is just fine as well. Now he'll never get to be Hokage. He will not. He'll never be able to come. Become Hokage. So we took Millie out of our party for the same reason we took Dorn out of our party. We just want to have Roddick, fastest character we can use to escape right now. And
let's go.
You know, we want him to get all the experience from the fights that are coming up that are required. Inward we go. And now we're going to pick up some items here in Cool that we need. Obviously, everyone's turning to stone and dying. It's tragic. So I pick up that necklace, and I pick up the 200 foal. And interestingly enough, I pick up that blueberry for safety. Did I just curse? Did I just say F on stream? I hope I did. I should have switched this over to my mic.
Let's go! Retreat!
Thank you. If I did, I very much apologize to everyone. Yeah, I guess you won't be needing this necklace anymore. There are a couple of mandatory battles here where I fight these rockworms, 2 of them. The best thing that can happen is they'll stack together, and I'll be able to just beat them to death.
Let's go.
If I cough, again, I apologize. I am fighting a bit for like 2 weeks. If I did curse, I apologize. I know this is supposed to be PG-13. I did curse. I can't remember if I switched my mic over to my actual headset or not. Should probably check that. Let's see. Yeah, I did. It should be fine. Even if I did, again, I apologize. No big deal. So these rockworms are pretty easy. They're of no threat to Roddick at all. They can combo you to death if you get incredibly unlucky and they're able to get around behind you. But
let's go.
Overall, no real challenge or worry here. Again, those enemies are pretty slow to run from. We're pretty low level for where we're supposed to be at right now. They kind of expected you to level up a little bit, make some money, do some other things, but we ended up not doing it. I'm also dropping some frames, which is awesome, because Cox does that whenever I start streaming. For whatever reason, I drop frames for like...
Let's go.
I'll drop like 1100 frames. Oh, my bitrate's too high. Set my bitrate too high.
That was way too fast.
I'll fix it in the next cutscene. Which is coming up. We're going to have another animated cutscene here. Oh, my video bitrate's only 1200. Let's lower that to 1000. Should fix it. Okay. And it balances out. It always does. There is no 100%. You can't possibly get a 100% run of this game because you can't get all the characters. There could be like all side quests, but even then you still can't do all the side quests because you can't get all of the characters. So we're gonna have an animated cutscene right here. Yeah, the SNES version is actually the next game in the marathon.
There's the flower that we need.
Millie's voice in this game makes me cringe. It's one of the few things in this game that I really don't like. I don't know why, her voice just freaks me out. I don't understand why. So this is where we meet Ilya and Ronix C. Kenny, or K. Kenny, or whatever the heck his middle name is.
Here.
That is
there weren't any life
Claude's
forms here,
father
Captain, when
and
I
mother.
scanned the area.
I don't care
Who
what
are
the
you?
canon
What do
says.
you want?
I'm pretty sure Ilya
Have you
is
come here to take the
Claude's
herbs away from us?
Where did you come from?
My bitrate's still
Look, you don't have to be so
Stay where you are.
afraid.
These two characters, Ilya is actually super good in this game.
Really weird and I don't trust
Casually, however, in a
Well, you
speedrun,
see,
she's
my
only
name
used
is
as
Ronix
a
J.
bomb.
Kenny.
There's nothing
How can I
spectacular
explain this so it makes sense?
Captain,
She is very useful, but not like in a
My
way that
name's
Roddick
Ilya
is.
Silvestri.
Especially
And
because we're
please,
going to
before
be
you
using
say
that ability
anything,
later.
I want you to
that you
know
guys
that we're
will
not
hear
your
the name
enemy.
of
We're here to help
repeatedly.
you.
They're going to try to help us by taking us into space because the Kennys apparently do not care about the UP3. It's largely irrelevant to them. So they have a waiver or something as a family. This whole section is fairly straightforward. It's mostly just exposition and explanation of what's going on. They're going to help us advance forward. Exactly. So what they're doing right now is they're going to take us into space so they can try to cure Dorn. And they're telling us we can never come back, blah blah blah. Obviously that doesn't happen. Moving on with our lives. We essentially get the gist of what happens in these games at this point. We've seen Star Ocean 2, Star Ocean 4, and Star Ocean 5 at this point. So we know how the UP3 really doesn't apply. If you don't want it to. All you have to do is believe, right? Alright, so we're into space. This game is legit. This game's actually really fun. It's very simple in the sense of the item customization and skill system is really good in this game. It's not quite as good as what they did with SO5, but it's still pretty good. So now they're going to show us around the Calnus, which is our, you know, our ship from the game. I can't actually skip this text.
Moving.
This goes on its own.
And the door back there open by itself.
Incredible. I've never seen anything like this before.
I just realized I haven't asked any of you.
So this is where everybody gets their introductions.
My name is Roddick Ferenc.
I'm Millie Cleet.
Dorn. Myrtle.
Nothing
Captain,
crazy
his condition's
right now.
deteriorating.
Better hurry then.
Yeah, you can definitely do that, Shomaru. I'm gonna do something very similar, and I'll go over the item creation as I get there, because it is quite in depth, and explaining it now would only, you know, without having any kind of example. This this section of the game again is more just like wandering around. I don't have to take Millie out of my party here. Roddick will still hit level 6, but Millie's levels are irrelevant because Millie is going to be leaving our party shortly. When Millie leaves our party, she's going to come back at level 30. So her levels don't really matter. There's a certain sequence that I'm supposed to go through here. I go to the airlock, and then I come back up to sickbay, and then you fight a battle, and then you're right back into more story. For about 10 minutes, we mash through text. This is unfortunately not the only part of the game that has this kind of exposition, but I went to the break room. I always do that. Luckily, it's just a very minor time loss. We like needing originality. Well, the good news is that Roddick automatically 100% always will come with originality, which is something I didn't know earlier when I was speedrunning this game.
Go.
Now you can get that, like right there I got a backswing. Really nice.
That was
And
way
he
too
always
fast.
gains level there, so he's level 6 now. Which is still quite good. He'll be our runaway character for quite a while. So. Alright. So we're mashing. There really isn't a whole lot that goes on right here. Other than that, we're just going to mash through a lot of text. We're going to get some serious exposition. And we're going to get an explanation of essentially the state of the universe in this game. And kind of what's going on. So what's being explained here by the doctors that no one can cure the disease that's affecting Dorn and the other people of Roke because they don't have a way to create a retrovirus because the virus continuously evolves. They would need the blood of whatever the virus came from. Which they determine is a being called the Archdemon Asmodeus, who was defeated some years in Roke's past. It's determined that it's not possible, so they're going to go back to Earth. They're going to try to figure out a way to get the Earth in the Federation involved, and hopefully they can find a way. What? We're just on the... I don't know. Still dropping frames every now and then, but nothing serious. It's really unfortunate. I don't know why my upload is having so many weird things going on right now. It's probably because I have the stream up at the same time. Just trying to make sure everything's good. It doesn't seem like you said anything completely inappropriate. So now they kind of determine that there's nothing they can do. Dorn wants to die in his bed because That's what you should do when you have someone who has a highly contagious disease, is allow them to die in their bed.
Yep.
I kind of justify this in my own head as the entire planet is already doomed, so it doesn't really matter if Dorn's down there or not. And he gives Millie his music box, which his sister gave to him, and it's all sad and stuff, and Millie cries. It's great. It's really sad. It's so great. Because of course he has a crush on Millie, which is why he was trying to get Roddick to be all like, she's dumb, don't date her, or stuff. But obviously, every woman in this game has eyes for Roddick for whatever reason. It's the blue hair, I think. And then Dorn turns to stone. And Millie cries. And then we teleport back up to the Calnus. And then we're going to go to Earth, and we're going to try to convince them. And while we're looking out here at this ocean of stars, as Millie puts it, which is a shameless plug of the game, we will see a invisible, cloaked Cleon bird of prey. And they're going to be a group of people, a group that the Federation is currently at war with, and they're the ones who, if you watch the excuse me, if you watch the opening cutscene, a planet is destroyed, and they're the ones who destroyed it. But it was not something that they did on their own. They were put up to it by someone they reveal here in a little while, a super being that they tell us about. A third party who's causing the problem. And then, of course, because seeing it once didn't matter. So unfortunately, they're also the ones who put the disease on Roke, who introduced the disease to Roke. And unfortunately, they explained to us that, you know, it's the Archdemon's blood. It wasn't earlier. They just determined they couldn't cure him. And of course, there's no way to get the Archdemon's blood because he's been dead for over 1,000 years or something, or 200 years. And no one can help them. And now there's sadness. So Roddick gets this brilliant, Ronix gets this brilliant idea to call in a favor from his old college buddy, the Time Guardian. And we're going to do that. So we're going to go to Planet Styx, spoiler alerts, and we're going to go to the Time Gate, and we're going to ask Ronix's college buddy if he can send us back in time. It's very useful. Bought lunch for each other a few times. You know. Time Guardian met his wife because of Ronix. You know, hung out after played Ultimate Frisbee together. It's crazy, crazy stuff. You find that out in the backstory of the game.
I'll follow.
In the Star Ocean, in the original game, Ronix convinces the Time Guardian because of how many people will die. The millions of deaths that will occur. Whereas in this game, they decided to just cut all that and just decide that it's okay. So I'm actually going to run to the restroom during this break, because this is about a 3-minute cutscene. Roughly. So as soon as it starts, I'll be right back.
I am the gatekeeper. Your request has been granted. Let us open the gate to the past.
We did it.
We need to leave our weapons and communicators here before we enter. Bring them along, you'll bounce off the gate.
Well, here we go. I hope that we're not making a mistake by entering the gate, because once we go inside, there's no turning back.
Right, here we go. Just hang tight, Dorn. We're gonna save you, but you gotta hang on. Okay.
I'll wait for you. Thank you, Roddick.
Are you sure you're all right? We must hurry. The gate.
All right. So we're gonna go back in time. It's great. We're gonna go back in time and save the world. So now we get here, and we're on planet Roke in the old days, and we're in a town called Krat, which is Kratos. And we've been separated from Ronix and Mill. Now, there's going to be several options in this game that I have to select the correct option.
Oh.
There's one here.
I don't.
Ilya wants a change of clothes because she feels like she stands out. So she wants me to go find her some. Because I don't stand out in armor and a cape.
You're right.
The first option, they have a laugh, and it takes about 4 seconds longer. So I'm going to run over here. Buy some clothes. Krat. K-R-A-A-T, or crate. So she takes these clothes, tells Roddick not to check out her hot bod, and hides. Tries the clothes on, decides they don't fit, but changes clothes anyway. It's crazy. I don't know why or how. I assume there is a set of clothes that does fit her. I've tried all three options, and I've always seen it end the same way, which is they don't fit. So I don't know what the deal is there. Anyway, so now we're gonna leave. We're done here. I got to do a couple of menuing things here real quick. As you heard earlier, we lost all of our equipment, so we're not equipped with anything. So you have to walk the dangerous path to a town called Hot, which is this same place as Cool was. There are a couple things I need to do here. I need to set Ilya to do nothing, and then I need to take her out of my party. And then I'm going to save right outside of Hot here. Because there's a possibility that the run could die here, theoretically. A character's skills are not determined until they join your party.
Let's go.
So I need Cius to come with certain skills, or without certain skills. Good news is he has a high chance of that happening. Yeah, Asa, it is kind of silly. So we're gonna run again.
Retreat.
I'm gonna go and save right here. This is fine. Saving in this game doesn't really take too long. Like the actual act of saving doesn't take too long. This is where we see Cius berate someone, because that's what Cius is good at. Yeah, I would imagine so. Since you're completely unarmed. You have no armor, no weapons, nothing. So. Again, I'm going to pick up an item here. Sweet syrup only sells for 75, but I do need all the money I can get. I'm going to tell this guy right up here to go north to Portmouth, because I need him to give me a fairy elixir, which I'm going to sell for 300. I've never seen him do that. Usually he goes to the right and goes down and goes right, so that was weird. So next story trigger. This game has a lot of story triggers that if you don't know them could be pretty annoying. Yeah. Second story was yesterday by Gearless Robot. And then next is actually Star Ocean 1 Super Famicom. So I have to buy the skill Sense 1 here because they don't sell Sense 1 in Portmouth. Well, they sell everything else in Portmouth. So I buy that here, which costs me 400 full. And I need to buy all the skills in the game for certain skill sets. So that guy wants me to get he needs somebody to go to Portmouth for him. You can only get into Portmouth with a permit, which makes no sense, but whatever. And he won't give me one because I don't have a weapon, so I'm gonna go get a sword. Because apparently, thank you for the good luck, Riku. Yeah, don't ever get Cius. Cius is pretty much the worst character in the game. That's not true. He's a worse version of Roddick. Actually, he's a worse version of Ashley. But... Second Story is also my favorite game. It's my favorite game of all time, actually. So let's hope Cius, I'll go over the skills in just a minute, but he can come with some things that can kind of screw me up right here, which is why I save. Unfortunately, if I have to reload, I lose a ton of time, but... Also, there's a lot of backup strats that I have. Waiting for this medicine to kick in so I can stop coughing every 10 seconds. So Cius says he's not going to take the job because somebody else already wanted the job. I do like Legend of Lich Gaia as well.
What?
This is Star Ocean First Departure. It is a remake on PSP of the original Super Famicom game. I'm playing this on an actual PSP. I forgot to turn off Equipment Wizard, which is not a huge deal. Let's check Cius' skills. We're boned. We'll reload. So he came with Taste, which is literally the worst way that could have gone. There are several people who run later. Unfortunately, I have to watch this whole sequence again. Hopefully it does work and reloads his talents. I've seen it where it doesn't, and I've seen it where it does. So. I'm playing this on a PSP. It's actually a PSP in my hands. I'm playing it. So unfortunately, I just lost like 3 minutes. But whatever. Taste is a skill. Taste is associated with cooking. I need Cius to come with Animal Instincts. If he doesn't come with it this time, I'll take my chances that Fia will come with it, and I'll go a different route. But we'll see.
What?
If neither character comes with it, then we will just not have Animal Instincts this run, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. It's so unlikely that they both won't come with it that I didn't really need to reload there, but I wanted to go ahead and do it anyway, just to give it a chance. I need to turn my Equipment Wizard off, but I'm not going to worry too much about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they port the PS4 version over because it'll be much faster. I'm waiting for them to port the the PSP version of Star Ocean 2 as well, because I want to play that on there. Even though I have the PlayStation version of that game as well, which is the game I would run because of the Killer Move glitch. World record for this is 245 by Mochi Gome, or 248.
What?
Mochi Gome is very good at the first 3 Star Ocean games. And when I say first 3, I mean Star Ocean 1, Blue Sphere, and First Departure. He is not very good at Star Ocean 3, from what I understand. Okay, so I'm going to get Equipment Wizarded again, which is fine. We're going to turn that off. There we go. That's perfect. Much better. We did it. I didn't need to talk to him. Alright. this is kind of sloppy because I got all excited because life is good. All that stuff is going to come off Cius, and Cius is level 10 instead of level 6, so he's going to be our runaway pawn here. That's why I save. In a marathon, I would save out there, but in World Rec, like PB attempts, I wouldn't save. I would just take my chances and work with the backup strats. This engine of First Departure is exactly the same engine they use on Star Ocean Second Evolution. It's not exactly the same as Star Ocean 2. It's close, but it's not exact.
We better get serious about this.
Run away! Run away!
Yeah, SO3 is technically the 4th game in the series, which is funny. But Blue Sphere never came out anywhere else. Yeah, this game is exactly the same.
We better get
The
serious
PSP
about
version
this.
is exactly the same as the PSP
get
version
outta
of Star
here!
Ocean 2. It's exactly, they're the same. The skills are the same, the learnings are the same. The biggest difference is the story, obviously, and the characters you get. So.
We better get
So
serious
Cius
about
is just
this.
going to run from everything up here.
Let's get out of here!
Interestingly enough, Cius is actually fairly strong for this stage of the game, even at level 10, and being kind of a poopy character himself. But the biggest thing about Cius is that he has like really high strength. So even without a weapon, he can actually kill most of these enemies without any problem at all. So Cius came with Animal Instincts, which is exactly what I wanted him to come with. I'm going to abuse some talents here in a little while, and I'm going to talk about him. And he didn't come with taste, and he didn't come with art.
We better get serious
Which
about
is
this.
sense of design is the talent.
Run away! Run away!
That's really good. And what happens is when you learn talents in this game, you get 100 SP. We want SP for certain things, because we're going to be learning stuff. I am not going to power level in the cave. No, I'm going to power level a very different way. That is quite fun. Run
We
away,
better get serious
run away.
about this.
Yeah, Cius is pretty funny when he runs away.
Run away! Run away!
I am going to lose a bunch of time because I reloaded, but it is not at all a big deal. If you're running this game for the first time, I would recommend, or learning this route, I would recommend reloading there if you don't get the right talents with Cius, so you can become more familiar with it. Because it's
We
all
better
from
get
repetition
serious
and
about
practice.
this.
Let's get out of here!
I wouldn't recommend trying to do... I have alternative strats written in my notes, which are on my channel, but I wouldn't recommend, like, for your first 2 or 3 runs, like, trying those alternative strats, because they can become kind of confusing, and you have to audible a lot, so... I'm getting a lot of battles,
We
which
better
is
get
unfortunate,
serious
which
about
means my
this.
counter rate's really high.
Let's get
Just
out
the
of
way it is
here!
sometimes. Yeah, getting, what is that, 5 battles? That's a lot.
We
Normally
better
you'll
get
get
serious
4
about
for
this.
Run away! Run away!
which is just, that's just a lot of battles. Yeah. Well, Clear Tonic later, I believe, does the same thing. They just reset until they get the right seed. Because item creation in the first game is not quite as broken as this. So I'm going to do some shopping here. And do some things. I think Ilya has the leather armor on, so I might have to take that off. No, I turned off the equipment wizard first. He gives you a fairy elixir, as I said, which sells for money. So we're going to go sell that. And we're going to do some stuff. First thing we're going to do, we have to sell every item in our inventory. You don't actually have to sell those. You could keep a couple of those, but I sell everything just to be safe. Oh, I should have bought those. I always forget to buy my 10 vegetables. You want 10 vegetables here. I know, right? I am bad. No, that's exactly why I run. Because every enemy in this game scares me. It just scares the crap out of me. So, I don't bother fighting them. So we're going to buy all the talents, except for Combat 1, because that gives me a little bit of leeway here. I'm going to go into Cius' skills, because he comes with some talent points, and we're going to learn Recipe, Kenai, and Knife, which... I'm going to learn Recipe, Kenai, and Knife, which gives me Cooking, which then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to learn the Cooking, the Taste talent Cius, which he got right out of the gates, which is awesome. We're going to learn sketching and aesthetics, which is going to give us art. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to get 1, 2, 3, and level 5 purity. Purity gives us full, so now I went from having 200 full to 12,000, which gives us enough money to do what I need to do here, which is I need to get CS one more talent. He does not have sense of design, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to buy 10 magic canvas, which cost me 3,000 full, which is pretty expensive, but we are hoping that he learns some stuff here. CS is here. Hoping he gets this pretty quickly. Yes. There is actually. Alright, I need him to learn this within 10. So I probably should have saved. Come on. Come on. Dang. He doesn't know. This is going to be kind of sketchy now. I'll buy 5 and I'll go save. Unfortunately, this kind of didn't work out the way I wanted it to. It's so rare for him to not learn that as quickly as he did there. It's really unfortunate he didn't learn those there. So we're already having bad luck. A lot of bad luck, actually. So. There it was. That's so unfortunate. And now we're going to max Danger Radar. Alright. So what Danger Radar does is gives me an ability called Scouting. I just set it to avoid enemies. What that does is that reduces my encounter rate by 50%. Unfortunately, I had to spend a ton of money, which is really unfortunate. But I should still be okay. I'm going to get Combat 1 here, which gives me all the skills I can buy to this point in the game. And then we're going to come over here. Purity level 5 gives CS a little bit of freedom because it makes where 200 skill points will give me level 5 purity instead of level 3 purity, which is a big deal. Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, so this is where we find out about an optional dungeon that we're not going to do.
Velbo, you know.
I'm sorry, this is a little bit slow because I have to make sure to not mess this up.
Guess this.
Alright, goodbye CS. We'll never see CS again, however his Danger Radar will last for the rest of the game. And I'll talk about what I just did in just a moment because there is a dead spot here. And again, I need to take this a little bit slowly because if you select the wrong option, the run is over pretty much. Okay. So what just happened there is that whole sequence. CS wants to deliver the item to Bedam, and we're just like, nah, dude, you go do it yourself. Later, bye. Talk to that guy again, say we'll just wait for some good news, which means we're going to rest for 20 nights in the inn, which costs 60 full per night, so a grand total of 1,200 full. I need to have a little bit of money to get to this point in the game. So what I did there with CS is he did not have 2 talents. Wait, you can just leave? Just leave where? No, you don't have to. You don't have to go anywhere. So what happened there is I learned 2 talents with CS, which gave me a total of 200 skill points. The skill points I used to level up Determination to level 3, which reduced the total amount of skill points I required for other talents, other skills. He came with an ability called Animal Instincts, which means his scout will work for whatever I tell it to. So what happens is you get CS to level 10. So what it does is it reduces your encounter rate or increases your encounter rate by 5 times the level of the skill of the individual using it. And it is effective based upon their number, if they have Animal Instincts or not. So if you want to encounter more enemies to grind, you would encounter enemies, which would put you to 150% encounter rate. If you want to avoid enemies, you'll avoid enemies, which will put you down to a 50% encounter rate. So So now we've already reduced our encounter rate for the rest of the game by 50%. Straight down from 100% to 50%. What I did also was I got Purity, which is like mana. What's that skill? Cuteness or whatever it is in Star Ocean 2, which gives you full based upon your level of purity. So Cius gets to level 5, which gives us 12,000 full, which gives us more than enough money to have what I had happen, which is him to fail learning sense of design in 10 canvases, and gives me enough money to get through this. Yeah, my estimate's 3 hours and 15 minutes for this game, which I'm already pushing right now, which is unfortunate. Playfulness, yeah, thank you. So what I'm doing now is I'm resting at the inn 20 times to pass 20 days so I can get on the boat to go to Audenim, which will let me get to Tatroy and Trop and some other places. Now, I'm not counting because you don't have to. Roddick will make a comment about how we should go ahead and see what's going on, because now it should be enough time has passed. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. And here in just a minute, I'm going to get another character, Fia, who's also very good. I'm going to strip her of all of her equipment. I'm going to move it all over to Roddick. I'm going to buy some flare bombs here in a while, and that's going to help me out. I'm also going to make a ton of money off of her because she's going to come with a certain number of skill points. Those skill points will then be used to use Purity, which will give me quite a bit of money. Unfortunately, this is a long little section of the game, and I apologize. However, this is about 4 minutes long or 5 minutes long based on loading times. If you go and do the Velknet stuff, it's about 8 minutes or 9 minutes based on luck with encounters. So we don't do that anymore. Plus, you have to talk to Perichi and some other things, and you don't really get anything out of it. Get a couple of extra levels, but nothing serious. Nothing good enough to really warrant doing it. You can get a free Rainbow Diamond, which would be awesome if it wasn't completely useless because of alchemy. And a lot of the time I'm losing right now, I'm losing a ton of time, but I lost most of it because I had to redo the stuff with Cius. And plus he trolled me without learning sense of design, so there's that. So everything has gone pretty much as poorly as it can so far. Pretty solid Star Ocean game right now. My estimate was a little tight based on the loading times on the PSP. There we go. So now we're done there. And that's it, and we'll move on. And we have just enough money to do everything we need to do. We actually have a little bit of leeway. The route's not nearly as tight as after you get the first talent with Cius. Once you get Purity with Cius, the route is not very tight at all. There's only one more section where you really even have to worry about them. So this, you just mash X. We're going to get Fia again, like I said, and then we're going to dump her. Take all of her equipment off, use all of her talent points that we need to use, and we'll move on. We're also going to put Fia in our party as our only character because she can run from battles much faster than I can. And that's all the equipment we use for Roddick for the entire game. She gets level 3 Determination and level 7. And now you can see 40,000 full instead of nothing. Which is a little bit lower than I'd like to be, but it should be enough for me to do what I need to do. Or in Trop, excuse me. So now we're going to go to Astral. And we're going to follow the road, because the road has a lower encounter rate than walking around in the deserts, or the grass, or whatever. And we're going to go that way. And you'll notice that we're not getting encounters nearly as much. There's a dungeon. There's an alternative dungeon you can do, where you go and you fight several other enemies. There are several enemies and a boss. It's how you start. Without doing that alternative dungeon, you can't get Perichi. So if you want to get Perichi and Bunny in this game, you would have to do that dungeon. It takes about 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes longer than staying at the end.
They're behind us?
If I was Roddick right now, instead of Fia, I would die here. Those guys would have killed me. Yeah.
Bring it on! We don't have time to waste!
And since Fia is level 20 instead of level 6, you're good to go. It's a pretty good little walk. I have a little bit less money, so I'm going to buy things a little bit differently here. I'm also going to pick up the extra Resurrection Elixir just to have it. You're not a Japanese edgelord? I'm a Japanese edgelord. Buy some skills. Swing by here. There's one of those that you don't have to buy, but I always buy it. I'm going to grab this Resurrection Elixir just to have it, because I'm not going to buy nearly as many. I want to have one for safety. Please? Thank you. Oh, I saved a bunch of time there for some reason. Oh. Because I split early.
Our Lady Fia,
That's
it's
fine.
unsafe to be by yourself.
You can't skip through this text. I mashed just out of habit. Ah, damn it. It's a mistake there. You need to select the second option. Split really early, unfortunately. That's okay. So that someone's been going around, Fia's been going around killing everybody, right? Is what they say. I don't know. I've never gotten Fia in my party, actually. I'm going to be using flare bombs to kill some things here in a minute, so be prepared for that. Headphone users. Those. I actually don't need those right now. Or stuff I can buy later. Okay. So now with Roddick, I'm going to gain a couple of levels because I need some talent points. Unfortunately, he has Love of Animals, which means the pet food wasn't really necessary there, but it does help me out if Ilya needs to get a talent for some reason, because she can learn Love of Animals if she doesn't already have it. So I will fight 2 battles on my way to Trob. These 2 battles I will kill enemies with flare bombs, so... be prepared for that. And it should get me to level 10 or 11, depending on the enemies I encounter. I would prefer to encounter those blue goblin enemies. They give you the most experience, the most gil or full, whatever you want to call it. This is the worst encounter I can get, and it's the most dangerous. So it's going to be a little bit hairy for me to do it the way I'm going to do it. There's one that kills all those guys. And I don't have a weapon, so I have to use a second flare bomb in this fight, because I just missed that guy. That particular enemy set is pretty hard to get to cluster together because of the way that the bird enemies move. So kind of unfortunate. But I should get about 2 battles, anywhere between 2 and 3 battles on my way to Trop. And then we're going to go back to Portmouth because we have to go to the Celestial ship. I would like to get a battle now. There we go. And it's these guys. This is good. This is fine. It takes 2 flare bombs to kill these guys, unfortunately. They have about 600 HP, I believe. And you can just get them all to kind of just do that thing. Do another one here in just a second. Dead. And up some more. 3 levels, and we're... And what that does is that allows Roddick to run for many more fights that I would get around here, but I shouldn't get any more battles here. So now comes a little bit of backtracking. Unfortunately, you have to do this. I've tried to find ways, other people try to find ways to skip this section of the game. But no one's been successful as of yet. If anyone can find this, it'd be immensely helpful because it would save several minutes. But this game has a lot of hard-coded story triggers. It doesn't matter which option you select. She will make you go back and look at the Celestial ship because it's plot development. I'm going to grab an item in here, a question mark item that I have to identify later. This is a Cinderella glass. It reduces all costs in a shop by 25% for 1 menu. So when you shop one time, everything that will be in that shop that you used it inside of will be 25%. Well, actually, it's the next shop menu you open. But that is correct. This is padding. I left myself a little bit of flexibility on money because I wanted to have a little bit of extra money because I'm going to do this a little bit differently this time. Where I go and buy a couple of skills later. Bad movement is bad. So now we're going to walk all the way back to the Celestial ship. The Celestial ship is over by Krat. Roddick will run away from battles very quickly now because he's such high level. And we're going to go over Mount Matorx again. And then we're going to walk back over it one more time, and then we'll be done with this place. If you want to get Perichi and get Bunny for whatever reason, you have to do this about 5 times. It's really horrible. Because you must get Perichi to get Bunny.
Retreat!
Unfortunately, this particular area, walking through here, is kind of wonky because there's so much stuff you can just get stuck on.
Let's go! Retreat!
That's why you see me kind of just like hugging the walls. Like I said, it's kind of a pain in the butt.
Let's go! Let's go!
Inside that cave that I just walked past, there's a set of Dwarven armor and weapon, sword that you can get. You have to fight a mini-boss to get it in this game. But it's really good. It's just not good enough for me to go out of my way to get. Also, the grinding in there is much slower than what I'm going to do later. So again, just walking. We're pressing down again for the second time. I did it again. Oh man, that's so bad. It's always up coming out of cool or hot. And I sometimes I mess it up and sometimes I don't. I'm not very consistent for that reason. Alright. Celestial Ship, we're gonna do some talking, and then we're gonna go back to Portman, then we're gonna go back to Trop. Then we're gonna go ahead and move on where we're gonna get Millie and Ronix in a little while. We're coming up on the item creation portion of this game, which is quite extensive. I'll talk about it as we get there. And we're in Trias 2017, just in case anybody's curious. Up next is going to be Star Ocean 1 Super Famicom by Clear Tonic. Which is a really cool run. It's very much similar to this game in the sense of it is the same game, however it is much different. This is on PSP. Okay, let me know if that's any better on the commentary side. I can't do a whole lot more than what I've done, unfortunately. I apologize. I'm talking pretty much as loud as I can. Without yelling into my mic.
Let's go! Retreat!
So again, we're going back over Mount Matorix for what? This is like the 5th time, I think. Really not a whole lot more you can do about it.
Let's go! Retreat!
It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? Alright. So, once we get over Mount Matorix this time, again, we're going to go ahead and go to Trop, then we're going to go to Ekdart, and then we're going to go to Ionis. We're going to get our party, which will be the final party we use in the whole game. We don't get any optional characters. We don't get Mavell. We don't get Oshawa. We don't get Adlai. We don't get Fia. We don't get Cius. And we don't get Perici. We don't use any of those characters. Mostly because they all take a while to get, except for Cius. And all Cius would do would just be to take up a party slot. He doesn't actually do anything in the run. Mostly because he's kind of poopy, like I talked about earlier. He's like a slower, weaker version of Roddick. Actually, he's actually a slower, weaker version of Adlai, who I didn't get in my casual playthrough. I would recommend playing through this game casually and just kind of enjoying it. It's really not very bad at all. The story's fairly okay. It's not like crazy good. It's not as good as SO2. And after seeing Blue Sphere and kind of hearing like the explanation of it last night, I kind of think that's probably the best story of the whole thing. It's a very Star Ocean story that I think worked really well. And we don't see any private actions or anything. We don't need anything like that. In SO1 for the Famicom, I believe there are some private action things that happen that Tonic has to do to get specific items, but we don't have to do that in this run. I'm gonna craft a ton of stuff in a little while. Mavell could be useful, yeah. If you did I just go to Autonym? I did just go to Autonym, didn't I? It's always the first guy. I always do that. Okay. Backtrack. I don't always do that, but I do it more often than I should. The story isn't... It's just not as good as Star Ocean 2. Like, that's the biggest thing, is that comparing it now to Star Ocean 2 is just not really fair. It's not as good. Unfortunately, in my opinion, nowadays with JRPGs, if you're saying the story's not very bad at all, it's probably a pretty good game. Oh, I'm not gonna die. There's no death. There's no intentional deaths in this game. That is correct. Well, I guess. So we're just going to get Millie and we're just going to leave. I'm going to save out here because I can die. This is the scariest portion of the run. If I get a certain surround attack, I will die with Millie, so I will save. Millie comes back at level 30 with 400 massive SP points that we're going to use to abuse some mechanics. Very nice. However, she will be our only party member. She is very weak. She has very low HP. And her armor stinks. So she can just get completely obliterated. We just hope that doesn't happen. And right there, she was singing the praises of Mavel. And Ilya, who has a crush on Ronix, is very sad because he's hanging out with a beautiful woman. I guess Rena technically counts, you know. But only if you're a Kenny, the UP3 is okay to break, to be honest. Edge Maverick is just dumb. That's why he breaks it. Okay, so again, we're going to do some stuff here. First thing we're going to do, we're going to take everybody out of the party. We're going to take everybody out of the party. It's just Roddick. Then we're going to save because, again, I can die out here. It's very scary. I would recommend a safety save here, even in a record attempt. Because it doesn't really take that long to save. And if you get that surprise attack, you're dead. The run's over and you restart. Yeah, SO5 is on an underdeveloped planet. That's a good point. Fidel. See, if this battle had been a surprise attack, I'd be dead. Those guys would have beat Millie to death. Like, she would just be a crater right now. But we should be good. You will get one battle on this walk. Bad luck is 2. So. Alright. So now this is all just mashing again. And then we're going to get into item creation. With dating mechanics. So this is where you have the option to get Mavel if you don't have Cius. I believe that is correct. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's going to happen right this second. I don't think there is. We're all gonna get drunk. Actually, the only person who's gonna get drunk is Ilya, who likes alcohol. She's quite the lush. She tries to get Roddick drunk. I don't know why. She does. Millie complains about her order because that's what she does. Ronix is saying to himself, "This is why I'm never going to have children." Yeah, she gets drunk. She gets drunk here as well. As you can see, she passes out, but they don't. They kind of edit it a little bit.
Oh no.
Oh.
But
Why is that?
that's
I take this a little bit slower because I absolutely 100% do not want Mavel in my party.
Oh.
It adds almost 2 minutes to the run.
well.
And does nothing for you.
Take care.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact rules on getting all the parties. I know you can't get Ashley if you have Cius. You can't get Fia if you have Cius. Which I would recommend getting Fia because she's actually a pretty good character. She's very good. Her and Ilya are both very strong. So. Right there, all you do is select the first option. Okay, so a bunch of stuff is going to happen right here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go buy some skills that I have to have. Yeah, I think you get to destroy her body or something. Should have enough money for all these. I do. I don't get Combat 3 until later. So now comes some skill development stuff that I have to do, and I'll do it in just a second. Then I'm going to put Ronix in my party. Millie gets Determination 6. Performance 7. Knowledge 7. Should have just enough to get the Purity. 120,000 full. So now I'm going to buy up some items I need to have. I need to have a Zard Flask. I have my iron. I need rubies. I could actually buy those later and be okay. I need these. This. I need these. I need 10 of those. I need 10 of these. And 10 of these. That's all for safety. Should have enough money to do this. It's going to be really close. It's not quite right. It's okay. It'll be okay. My money's a little bit off by about 4,000, I think, but it should be okay. Alright, so we're going to save again here in just a minute because there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen. I use Ronix here instead of Millie because even though he has less HP, he's a little tankier. Now we're also going to change our formation in our battle to escape. And that'll be the formation we use for the rest of the battle. You can change that earlier with Millie as well. Doesn't really matter.
Let's go. Don't look back.
I might have to get a couple of points into with Ronix into Purity, but I might be able to swing it. Because of the money I had to spend with Ceus. But it should be okay. I probably should have waited to buy the rubies. Because that's 12,000, or it's 1,200. Or 12,000 that I didn't need to spend right then. But we'll see. Alright. Actually, let me check real quick. 31,000. Yeah, I have to sell some stuff. Hold on just a moment. So... those may sell... Where are my rubies? That might be a bad thing. We'll see. Alright, skills. Learn skills for Ronix. What do you got? You got originality, listening. He does have blessing mana, so we're good. Okay, that's totally fine. 8. 4. 4. Mineralogy to 8. Herbology to 1. Unmatched. Mineralogy 8. For detail 7. Tech 6. Feriology 8. Should be right. I'm going to go ahead and get him sketching and aesthetics as well. Because he can learn that stuff. So we're going to learn a bunch of talents with Ronix real quick. I hope. Sense of design from this would be really nice right now. Gotta identify this item real quick. I'm gonna put newly acquired is what I want. I'm gonna put a couple points into purity just here. Just give me a little bit more money. Just to be safe. Not the piano. Yeah, I had just enough money with purity, so we're fine. Specialty, Millie, compose. Heroes arrive. Get ready for some bad music. Here he is listening. He's hoping to learn music, rhythm sense, but he didn't. What's his alchemy at? 7. I need one more. Well, actually, I don't need one more point in alchemy. I need to buy these. We're gonna go ahead and make a ton of money real quick. So what I learned is a skill called, with Millie, I learned Goddess's Arrival, which increases the chance for success on items creation. So what I did there is I made 2 rainbow diamonds that I'm going to equip on Ronix now, which puts his alchemy to level 8 or 9, excuse me, which allows me to make philosopher stones. So I need to make a couple of philosopher stones here. 1. I need to make 4. 2. Alright, so we're going to play music again. Always play music before you do this because it increases your chances by quite a bit. Always play it with Millie because she'll always be level 9 as well. Or should be. There's 3. I need one more. Done with that. Let's just buy these real quick. And Philosopher's Stone sell for a ton, and we buy a Silver Trumpet. A couple things we're going to do here. Specialty. Music, compose. Alright, got those 2 really quick. Ronix still needs rhythm sense, so we're going to go ahead and get that real quick, because it just takes a little while to get. There it is. Which allows me to put his, I want 7 points in imitation now, which gives me replication level 7. Crafting is eye for detail, aesthetics, as high as we can get. We're going to go over to Roddick. We got to do some more crafting here. I need to get, okay, so I can get recipe, keynote knife, performance, music knowledge item, mineralogy, that, aesthetic design is not what I want. What am I missing now? Familiar, orchestra, cooking, music, missing aesthetics, there we go. So for him, we want to learn several talents now. It was not. The system was not. That is correct. You have to be level 9 and level 4. So what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get some skill points on Roddick because I need Roddick to get a couple of... his skills have to be a certain height. Did I just learn that? I think I learned it. Let me see. I looked away for a second. I didn't look. Okay. I have tons of money, so it doesn't really matter. So I can go buy more of these if I need to. But I need him to learn design sense now. Or sense of design. Controlled. Come on, dude. And then I'm going to learn cooking next. Which is taste, which will give him 200 points. Then I need to learn the music talents. One of them. Come on, dude. It's alright. We'll do that. There's that. I'm going too fast. That's okay. I think cooking, right? Okay. Oh, I need conductors and tones. This is a lot of stuff to keep up with, so it's kind of hard. Wow, I learned that really quick. Okay. I need 2 more talents on Roddick. So we're going to go buy some stuff real quick, and we're going to do some crafting over here that normally I would put off, but right now I'm not going to worry too much about that. So I'm going to try to make my, I'm going to go ahead and try to make my card, my experience card now, which normally I would wait, but it's no big deal. God, this is wrong. I need to level up his crafting ability. I need 1 experience card here, by the way. Yeah, each talent I get unlocks 100, gives you 100 SP. There it is. So now that I have the experience card, I'm going to replicate it, and I'm going to exploit this in just a minute. The experience card doubles the experience you get from a battle. I need 4 of them. The music ran out. I will make a 5th just in case, because sometimes my experience doesn't quite work out the way I want it to. It's not a big deal. It's quite easy to replicate. Okay, so we're going to burn this up now. Hopefully we learn something here, but we may not. There's Nimble Fingers, perfect. Now we need art with him. Now we need talents with Roddick is what we're waiting on now. He's being a troll right now. There's 1, and I need crafting, but I'm going to go to the mineral shop now. And the reason I'm going to go to the mineral shop now is so I can buy more minerals, because I'm going to burn up a lot. Because he needs to learn Nimble Fingers now, which should give me enough to get to what I need to get to. Yeah, it's the same way in the SO2 PSP version, by the way. I need these. I need those for an item I'm going to make. I need those for an item I'm going to make shortly. And I want iron just in case. I only have 5 Sinclairs, so I'll save outside before I do anything else crafting. So we're going to learn this till he learns Nimble Fingers, because he doesn't have it yet. Got it right out of the gates. Perfect. Learn skills. So we push determination to 6. Eye for detail to 7. Mineralogy to 7. Where's it at? Aesthetics to 5. Smithing to 8. Aesthetic design to 6. Which I can't quite get there. What level does that put his? Customization needs to be level 9. So I need to try... I don't believe he can learn listening, but we'll try it. No, he can't. It's okay. Shit. Excuse me, I apologize. That makes things a little bit hairy, but we'll see what we can do. Might have to do this the way that I really don't want to do it, but I might have to. We'll see. Okay. So now we're going to go outside. We're going to save. We got to craft some items. We still got some more crafting we have to do, unfortunately. So I'm going to make 2 more items with Ronix. I might get lucky and 8 might be high enough, so we'll see. Ronix is good. Perform Goddess's Arrival. So I'm going to make the 2 easy items first. I'm going to make the crafting here. Oh, Ring of Fusion. Useless, but okay. I'm looking for a Intimidation Pendant out of this. Ring of Resistance is good, actually. That's actually kind of helpful. Allows me to skip a chest later. There's that. So now we're going to do this. I need 2 Berserker Rings, which Roddick has a very high chance of making, as you saw. So we're going to save after I equip these Rainbow Diamonds, and then I have to try to make some other things. And it's really unpleasant to go through this little section, to be honest. Let's hope things work out. I wish I had one more level with Roddick. I did not get what I wanted up, though. Alright. So we're looking for a Sword of Marvels. A Holy Sword will work. For now. I'm going to go ahead and save again. A Holy Sword will allow me to get through the first enemy, which lets me make the Sword of Marvels right afterwards, which is fine. So now I've got to do this one more thing. Should have done that first. Now we hope we're trying to make something out of these Philosopher's Stones. They're pretty expensive to do. Oh man, trolled me. The Mind Ring has the same. The Mind Ring has the same thing as the same animation or the same model as the item I want, which is a Ring of Avoidance. I'm also going to finish up all of my crafting here in just a second. So bear with me for just one more minute here while I hopefully get through this right now. Come on. That's some mist insignia which I don't need. Got it. Alright. So now we're going to replicate our Ring of Resistance, which I need 4 of these. It's 1, 2, and 3. Oh, no, didn't get it. I'll get it in a second. There we go. That's done. So now Ronix gets the Ring of Avoidance and the Intimidation Pendant. Put the Holy Sword here. We're going to save. And then we're going to go ahead and go into our ground. We're done with item creation, by the way. I am going to have to go back into town, though, actually, because I need to buy more Resurrection. Roddick is going to die a lot here in a second, unfortunately. Which is just the way it is, because of the weapon I have is the wrong weapon. But I'm not going to bother trying to grind it out. I need him to come with the right talents to get it perfect, but I didn't get it perfect. So now we're going to go to Tactics, we're going to replace this. We're going to go Save. So the 2 items I made reduce my encounter rate further. And we're going to start walking. We're going to stop right here at this bend, and we're going to fight a boss monster. This boss monster is level, which is going to give me a bunch of levels. So we're level 9, we're going to play the Devil's Aria. Level 9 is a giant. Our formation is good. Ilya is set to do nothing, so she'll just stay back. And Roddick is going to kill the enemy. I should have equipped another ability, but it doesn't work if you don't have the Sword of Marvels. So
This is tough. I hope we can do
first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our inventory, we're going to use an experience card, and then we're going to go to that. And you can see the damage we're doing. Unfortunately, he can block me. We're just hoping he doesn't. There he is. Roddick is... Oh, Roddick is not dead. Good. This is actually going quite well. Good hit. He's dead.
Sorry, everyone. Hey, I'm still alive.
That's funny.
Sorry, everyone.
No!
Sorry,
So the trick here is just keep Ilya away from him, and you'll be fine. All right, that was a good fight.
Aw, over already?
And as you can see, we gained a ton of levels. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and save again. We're going to go ahead and get his customization high enough. First, we're going to max determination. Go ahead and get aesthetic design, smithing. We're going to get a couple levels of effort. Knife, which gives us more strength. Biology, which gives us more of that. And a couple points of Godspeed. Special arts. Get ready to hear Dragon Roar a lot, everybody. Tactics replace. We're going to save, and we're going to make the Sword of Marvels now. I only have 5 Sinclairs. I don't want to stop in Ionis and buy more, but I can if I don't get it right out of the gates. Goddess's Arrival, which increases my chances of successfully doing it. I'm going to go to customization. Sinclair with a ruby. There's a Sword of Marvels. We're done with that. Now we're going to walk. Casually just gets 36 levels. Yeah, so everything I did there, let's go over it. So item creation there is by far the most involved process in this game. What we did is we made several items. We made an experience card, which doubles the experience I get from a battle. We reduced the number of members in our party, so that way everybody got a bunch of levels. Then what I did is made sure that people were at certain levels of music to play an ability called the Devil's Aria, which is an ability that makes me fight a boss-style monster. That boss-style monster is easily killable at level 9, as you saw the way that I did. This enemy is also very easily killable, and you'll see here where I do Dragon Roar to it. With the Sword of Marvels, it cannot block, cannot dodge, and I won't miss unless he teleports, like he did there. So you just wait till he reappears, and you Dragon Roar him to death, and it's always a perfect battle. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I'm going to gain another 14 levels here, which puts me to level 60. I didn't use my experience card because I'm a noob and I wasn't paying attention, but it's okay. We'll just use some of that. We'll get aesthetics up. We're going to get herbology up. Herbology is nice because it increases the amount of HP you heal. That was my bad. I wasn't paying enough attention. I was talking. We'll get some mental science. And we'll just go card break and power burst. I would recommend playing them this one. It doesn't really matter, whichever one you want to play. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and finish up our grind here. I messed that up, but it's okay. I have plenty of everything else I need, so. So what I made is, I made a bunch of items. I made a weapon for Roddick. I made a Berserker Ring, which increases my attack power by 50%. Or doubles it, I believe, actually, in this game. I knew I was forgetting to do something. Again, this guy is just going to get Dragon Roar to death. Nothing at all he can do. And I back up just to make sure I don't get hit. If you get hit by that guy, you'll get turned to stone and immediately die. There's a bunch of levels again. We're going to go ahead and level up our skills again because I don't want to waste any skill points. As you can see, Roddick is level 73 now. Again, we're going to get effort to 10, which increases that there. Technology, which gives me plus 10 strength per level. Power burst, body control, and Godspeed are going to be maxed here. And what this does is those are abilities that are just very useful. Aesthetic design's already maxed. We're pretty much done with everything else now. So what'll happen now is Roddick is going to be really hard. That's right, yeah, about an hour and a half in. I actually saved 4 minutes on my item creation. That's really good. I made an experience card, doubles my experience from the battles. These guys already give ridiculous amount of experience, so it's really easy to get there. I also got my Ring of Fusion, which is really nice. The Ring of Fusion reduces magic damage taken by 90%. However, they have a chance to break. Wrong Billy. It's fine. Which is why I made an extra one. I made a 4th one. I'm going to use that, which is very useful against Asmodeus and against GA Reverse and against Neo Reverse.
Let's go.
They reduce the magic damage I take, which just makes it so much easier to not die against him. And this guy's going to die even faster now because now I have Power Burst, which means I crit. And as you can see, I just... Dragon Roar is always going to be far enough away. Yeah, I know, it doesn't affect all of them.
I can be stronger than this.
I just get it because it lets me gain 1 extra level. And right now we're walking to Van, which is our next stop. The Sword of Marvels is the last weapon I'm going to get in the game. It has 100% hit rate and very good damage. Don't need to make anything else. I also made an Intimidation Pendant and a Ring of Avoidance, which reduced my encounter rate further, which is why I haven't gotten an encounter yet. I should be pressing R1 there. Zarya. Skills on skills. Sidestep just in case. Klingon, which reduces my damage I take. And
Let's go!
hope for a Godspeed proc, but it doesn't. You want to make sure you know where he's at whenever you teleport, because you don't want to get hit by this guy. Obviously, he will still kill you.
That was way. I hope you're watching.
What level am I now? If I'm 89, I'm 90. That's good. We're done with the grind. We won't be fighting another battle. That's it. We're done. I bought the items I needed. Roddick will now run from every battle in the game. He'll be high enough level by the time I get to Revor's Tower. He'll be level 91 by the time I get there due to boss fights, and he will easily be able to run from all the battles. He hits like a freight train. He can't miss. I have a Berserker ring on Ilya. I'll be buying a weapon for Ilya here in Van. That'll be the last weapon she equips. She never equips any armor. She dies very quickly and very easily, but she does run interference for me. I'll equip Palm of Destruction on her. The Ring of Avoidance and Ring of Intimidation Pendant both decrease my encounter rate. The experience card is used to double my experience. The Berserker ring increases my damage. The weapon is the only weapon I need in the game. Ring of Fusion, if you get lucky enough to make one, makes it to where you won't be killed by the bosses coming up. So yes, we completely demolished the game right there. I get Combat 3. Now I'm going to get some more skills on Roddick. I'm going to get the Talon Knuckles. I'm going to go and equip Ilya with the Talon Knuckles. I'm going to go to skills. I'm going to learn some more skills with Roddick. Faint, which is what I want on him. And then on Ilya, I want Determination. Godspeed, oops, too low, body control, power burst, and restore life. Martial arts. Ilya gets Palm of Destruction, and we're done with that. Okay. Any questions? The way I have my skills set up, I know what skills I need to get. That's why I was counting, like what I was reading my notes, which tell me what I need to get. So yeah, you forge crystals into the intimidation pendant. You forge one of the philosopher stones you make, the extra ones you make, into a ring of avoidance, which is a little bit rare, a little bit harder. That's why we save. I got all the money because philosopher stones sell for 300,000 full in this game. I made 4 of them total, which Ronix will almost always. I've only seen him not come with Blessing of Mana one time. Ronix will come with Blessing of Mana, which increases his chances of getting alchemy created correctly, and Goddess's Arrival. Oh, it's just habit. It's just habit. There's nothing else to put his points in. I mean, he's done. He doesn't need anything else. It's just habit for doing it. Ilya doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if she hits or not, because Palm of Destruction doesn't miss very often, and she's primarily there just to act as a distraction so Rock doesn't get hit. I get a ring, Amulet of Flexibility, which prevents petrification, which gives me a little bit of safety throughout the run.
Let's go.
I use Ilya or Millie to give me money and play music. I'll get Millie some levels later to get haste and speech in some of the boss fights. I'm going to go ahead and use an experience card, an extra experience card on the Crimson Shield, because Millie will be in my party for that fight. Roddick will be able to quickly run away from everything, plus body control reduces the amount of time he's stunned, which will mean that I get out of encounter or surprise encounters much faster. And that's how that works. 1, 3, 5, and 6 is the answer to this puzzle, by the way. It's just habit. It's just muscle memory. With the feint on Roddick, I just do it because that's what I've done forever and that's what I think to do. We're going to put Ilya back in our party now to run some interference. Change her strategy to do whatever she wants. I'm going to go and heal Rodix. MP all the way back up. We're good to go. Don't do that, you'll die. Max kills is fine, that's what you should do. You should do what you want to do. This fight, you get surprised every time. So you want to kill these little guys over here first. Sorry, that was a plane flying over my house. Once they're dead, the fight's over because this guy is just going to get brutally murdered by Dragon Lore. And that's it. Easy peasy fight.
Well, I'd say that's worth 10 out of
Sorry, there's a
10.
plane flying over my house right now for whatever reason. And you take Ilya back out of your party after that fight's over because she will slow down your escape. Pretty easy stuff there. So now we've got a lot of walking. And so back to item creation, I also Tonic. A lot of the bosses that I'm gonna just brutally murder here momentarily throughout the rest of the game, Tonic will struggle with because he's not able to manipulate his skills the same way in the first version of SO1. So the original Super Famicom version. So we'll see that in a little while. So what happens now, this guy's going to give me an emblem because he wants me to go find something called the Eye of Truth, which will show me what I want, and I'll explain what that is when we get it later. And there's going to be a lot of backtracking and walking here. So essentially, item creation in this game completely breaks it. Makes it to where Roddick is so powerful that it's just ridiculous. And the 4B's secret fighting technique is something that Ilya can use, I believe, to get extra skills or something. Someone else can use, I don't know. I don't use it. It would have been better, but I forgot to use an experience card once, but that's not really a big deal. It was a mistake on my part. I'd be level 91 now instead of 90, but I'll be level 91 anyway. Wait till I get to Succubus. Succubus is fun. I have one more shopping trip because I have to buy a couple of might potions and some witch's powder. Witch's powder reduces the damage you take from magic by 50%, which is a backup in case when you fight Revorse in the final dungeon, when you fight Revorse and Neo-Revorse, you don't get you do not get a chance to re-equip yourself. So if your ring breaks against Revorse, you won't have it for Neo-Revorse, your ring of resistance, so you have to use a witch's powder, which prevents Roddick from getting killed by any of his bigger, badder spells. So from here, at this point in the game, Roddick is incredibly strong. He's able to run from every battle we're going to encounter. I will safety save in several places just because I can still get hosed by getting, like, paralyzed or, you know, a surprise attacked and paralyzed, which can still happen. But I'll be equipping an item called the Hammer Charm, which decreases the amount of time I'm surprised, and it'll be almost instant that I break from it. I did save, right? We're going to save here because I'm paranoid about bad things happening. And off we go. Now is a lot of walking and going on, like, a fetch quest. We're going to go get the different seals from the different kingdoms across the world. And we're going to get we go to Sylvalant first because, not because it's necessarily closer, but because it gives us a boat. It allows us to travel to the other places pretty quickly, pretty much.
Let's go.
It is not an overworld boat, so it's actually pretty fast.
Let's go.
Yeah, the name of the town in this is Sylvalant, not Silverant. I guess it was just a throwback to those games.
Let's go.
Again,
Let's
Roddick
go.
is very fast, able to easily escape from battles here without any problem. Yeah, it's pretty rough, unfortunately. We run from a lot of battles. Again, we're gonna stick to the path. It's just, for the most part, it's a straight line here, and because it lowers my encounter rate even further. A Lord of Hyphens. So what we did is we manipulated a lot of things. We've done a lot of things with skill breaking in this game.
We're
So
surrounded.
right now I'm surrounded.
Retreat!
And Qui-Gon just proc. So I took. Well, I was gonna take 0 damage anyway because I'm such high level, but only 40 levels above what could be expected. Yeah, probably higher than that, to be honest. Probably about 60 levels higher than what they expect you to be. Yeah, like 30, 35. In a casual playthrough, you can grind all the way to level 100 or 250 if you wanted to, like that. There's just no reason to go any higher in a speedrun.
Let's go. Let's go.
Mochigome does that item creation pretty much the same as I do. He learns Orchestra, which increases the chance of him learning talents, but that takes a little while longer, I find. He also makes a talisman that prevents paralysis and petrification and equips that just for safety, but I'm a risk taker, so I don't do that. This is our last shopping trip of the game, so I make sure to have like plenty of healing items in case things go bad. They won't, but you don't need that many, but I buy them just in case. Yeah, you can go all the way. I mean, you can go as far as you want, as long as, because I mean, the only people that you can't really level that way are $37 before cross. I don't know what you mean by that. So again, we're just gonna get another emblem. He's gonna give us a boat. It's great. I used to shop here and buy like armor and stuff. Is this Battlefield 4 speedrun? Something like that. Count myself lucky. Oh, stop. You can shop there and buy some better armor and things, but I don't need any of that stuff because it's not relevant. People are gonna die and there's nothing I can do about it. I'm just not strong enough to deal with it. We're gonna go to Portmouth next. And we're gonna fight the Succubus, which is Clear Tonic's favorite boss in this whole game. No game FAQ skip. What? So it used to make a sword here called the Dueling Sword, which is the strongest weapon you can get on Roddick. However, it's not as good as the Sword of Marvels because the Sword of Marvels again can't miss. It has the highest like rate of anything hitting in the game, so. Oh. So he wants us to go in here and do this. And oh Yeah, I know. I just... he wants us to go in here, and there are a bunch of good treasures. Like, there's good armor in here, good weapons, but you can't keep any of it. He takes it away from you, and it adds text boxes and all these other things. So, we don't pick any of it up, because we don't need it. So there's that whole thing.
Let's go.
Again, Roddick just runs away very, very quickly. And we're just going to go right to her, and we're going to kill her. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great one. I could theoretically die in this fight, actually. It's kind of scary, but not really. Oh,
Let's go.
yeah, Ashburner. That's, that is Star Ocean until the end of time. Star Ocean 3. Alright, so again, we're going to put Ilya back in our party just to run interference. She'll probably die in this fight. There was a long load time. There are a lot of long load times in this game. You get triced little bits here and there because of the PSP.
Somebody's gonna get hurt real bad.
Charge!
So we're going to use a Potion of Might here, which increases Roddick's damage.
Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
Need some backup!
He's casting a spell.
Dragon
I interrupt the Shadow Slayer.
Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
I want to go and revive her. You don't have to revive Ilya, but...
Destruction! Alright, let's get... I don't want to be a drag on everyone.
I even got the interruption on Shadow Flare. That's so good. That was a good fight. I also got the dogs to line up, which killed them. I was able to kill multiples of them with one slash, which is really good. Yeah, we're gonna Dragon Roar everything to death from here on out, friends. Be used to it. Just get used to it. It is literally broken.
Let's go! Retreat!
Can't use Potion of Might and keep using specials. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Yeah, in this game it doesn't matter.
Let's go! Let's go!
Excuse me. Oh, Dragon Roar equals Poison Pills. Yeah, that's pretty true. It's pretty close. So this guy gives us a free 200 SP, some bunch of full, and the Hammer Charm, which decreases the amount of time you're stunned. From surprise attacks. So. That dungeon has a huge encounter rate in this game. Like, think about it this way: I have 50% reduced encounters just from my passive avoid enemies from scouting. I also have 2 items that reduce my encounter rate further, so we're at about a 20% or 15% encounter rate of what you would normally get. And there I got 4 battles. So this guy's going to give me another emblem, which is great. And then we're going to move on. We're going to go get the Astral Emblem next, and then we're going to go back to Van, because you have to. And we're moving right along. This game is pretty much done at this point as far as like any tech or anything else I'm going to do. From here on out, it's just going to be spamming Dragon Roar and killing bosses and explaining the boss strats. Essentially, every boss strat is going to be me using Potion of Might, spamming Dragon Roar. I will explain each boss fight as we get there, but there's really not a whole lot left to talk about except go over the plot. Right now, we're just getting items that we need to get to go ahead and find. Trop is closer, so we're going to go ahead and to get get the Eye of Truth, which will show us what we're looking for, which is a way to fight Asmodeus, the Archdemon, to get his blood, so we can cure the people on Roke in the future. Ah, did it again. It's the 3rd time in this run I've done that. That's so silly. Such a silly mistake. Unfortunately, if we hadn't lost 5 minutes to Sias, we would be pretty far ahead right now. Maybe like 4 or 5 minutes ahead. But I reloaded. I could have worked with it, but I decided not to. Onward we merrily press. Lots of backtracking, lots of walking right now, so. Eye of Truth, not the Lens of Truth. Lens of Truth isn't Zelda. This is Star Ocean. It doesn't steal from anything. It's completely original and has never done anything else.
Let's go! Retreat!
So we're back in Tatroy. We're going to go to Astral, and then we're going to go there. We're going to get the emblem that he has, and he's going to send us back to Van, so the King of Van can give us the secrets that we never could have possibly figured out. Ever. For any reason. My item creation actually went pretty well.
Go.
Anyway, this guy gives us more background information. He's telling us ways we have to find the Lens of Truth. Eye of Truth. I said Lens of Truth. Dang it. I meant Eye of Truth. And now we're going to go back to Van, which is a long walk, unfortunately, because it's not...
I wish
it's
you
not
the
actually,
best of luck.
It's true. Well, the Eternal Sphere is just better than Ripper Blast. I did call it the Lens of Truth. I read it and said it. Just not even thinking about it. Even after saying Eye of Truth like 200 times, I just said Lens of Truth. That's funny. Onward we press. So now again, we're going to go back to Van. So we're going to go back to Tatroy, because you have to. This is the fastest way to get back to Tatroy. And then we're going to take a boat to Ekdart, and then we're going to walk to Van, which is a long walk, unfortunately. So it ends up being about the same distance from Sylvalant, even though Sylvalant is technically closer, but the problem is walking through the cave and through the long bridge sequence takes a long time. So ends up being about 10 or 15 seconds faster, if I remember right.
Let's go! Retreat!
Not a whole lot to talk about now. But up next is going to be Star Ocean 1 again. However, this time it'll be the Super Famicom version, which is a completely different route. A different game. It doesn't completely remove random encounters, however it does decrease them. we're gonna cut across here. We will run from battles pretty quickly, so not super. The bunny whistle does remove random encounters. That's true. The bunny whistle takes about 15.5 minutes to get, though. It actually takes almost 25 minutes to get, and it only saves you 10 or 15 minutes at best. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Let's go! Retreat!
Yeah, you have to do, in order to get the bunny whistle, you have to do the dungeon, the Velknet dungeon, and then the Velknet dungeon, and then you have to do, you have to go and do like several private actions, and you have to go back. It's just a pain in the butt. It's just a long time. I don't really have a favorite character in this game. I just use Roddick. Beats people to death. It's pretty easy.
Let's go!
Dragon Roar is pretty good. His weapons are pretty strong. Yeah. So I guess Roddick, I don't know. I mean, I used Ilya as well. Cius is probably my least favorite character. So. Yeah, I wish it was too, because it does... The bunny moves faster and he eliminates random encounters than Roddick, but you can only use it on the world map, so it doesn't really help you. But this has been a pretty good walk, only 2 battles so far. I'll get 1 or 2 more. So. I forgot to equip the hammer, but that's okay.
Let's go!
They can't hurt Roddick anyway. It's just too high level. So yeah, good stuff. So now he's going to tell us the secrets that he could have told us before. Essentially, he tells us that there's a secret way into the Purgatorium, which... yeah. It is what it is. So... And then we're going to go to the Purgatorium. Oh, we're done. My bad. Totally was reading something else that was completely not irrelevant. Yeah, I agree with you. I like how in Suikoden 2 and the Suikoden series you can let enemies who are just terrible go. Or who have no chance against you go. I was reading something not relevant to what's going on. So now we gotta walk back to Ekdart. Pretty good. Should just be on the path, to be honest, but it's okay.
Let's go! Retreat! Let's go! Retreat!
whole lot going on here. We're not. The second story was yesterday. Next is going to be the Super Famicom version of this game, which is the original version of this game, before this game came out and was ported over. By Clear Tonic.
Let's go.
You'll see a very different run in that, where he uses resets and things like that to encounter, to manipulate some stuff. So, yeah, yesterday was the Renner route for the for Star Ocean 2. Gearless Robot, I think 511 is what he got. Be sure to follow all the runners in the marathon as well. This little tri-celebration. Rudix started yesterday, early in the morning with Star Ocean 5.
Let's go.
And then we did Star Ocean 2, and then
Retreat.
Blue Sphere was yesterday as well by Takaze. Then they had Mocha doing Infinite Undiscovery last night, kind of late, because that's what his I guess that's what his schedule balanced out for. That was a pretty cool run. If you've never seen it, I would recommend checking it out. And this morning at DDR, starting off with the fantastic Star Ocean 4, said no one ever. And now I'm running this. And then next will be Clear Tonic with the Super Famicom version. The speedrun for SO4, caveat, the game itself is not very good. The combat is very good, but the storyline is kind of garbage. The music is also very good. The graphics aren't bad at all. However, the game itself is kind of poopy. But the speedrun of it is very good. It's very good. It's a very good speedrun. It's very similar to the Shadow Hearts series, where Shadow Hearts 1 and 2 are, they're okay speedruns. Shadow Hearts 2 being better than Shadow Hearts 1, and then Shadow Hearts 3 being the best speedrun of them all. But, yeah. DDR killed that game earlier with Fire. That's very impressive. And then,
Let's
next
go.
will be Clear Tonic. And then, I don't remember exactly what else is after
Let's
that,
go.
to be honest. I'd have to look at the schedule again, which I had up, which I don't have up now, because I'm a bad person. I feel like I'm missing something. No, I'm not. Yeah, and then it's Valkyrie Profile Covenant of the Plume with Dragon Darch. And then Resonance of Fate with Tide, and then it'll close us out. Resonance of Fate, if you've never seen it, is a John Woo inspired shooting RPG.
Let's go.
It's really interesting. So,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Good stuff. So we were told by the King of Van after we got all three that there's a secret entrance to the Purgatorium, which is interesting because if you come here with Ashua earlier, you can find the secret entrance much earlier. Exactly. Roddick did not have the best stuff to say about it, so. So now we're going to go into the secret entrance, and we're going to go to the Purgatorium, which has great music, by the way. This game, while not being the best game, I guess, ever, but having very good music, solid sprite work, and other things. Yeah. That's pretty much the only reason. SO4, I think, has, in my opinion, SO5 has a very good... SO5 has a very good battle as well, so battle system as well, which I enjoyed a lot. I enjoyed SO5. I would speedrun it, but it's 7 hours of nothing, unfortunately, which is kind of crappy because it's a very interesting route. It's just so much stuff. So this is the Purgatorium, as you saw earlier in SO4. It's very similar. Yeah, it's nothing like what was in SO4, to be honest, but we have these ball puzzles that we're going to do. They teleport you around. And I can skip a treasure chest in here because I got the Ring of Resistance during my item crafting, so I don't have to get that. So now I just have to dodge all these balls, which going to the left first is the easiest in my opinion. So go to the left, we're going to hit the switch, which is going to open a door. There's that. And onward we press. Less fiery. Yeah, that's true. Oh.
Let's go!
Guys, come on.
Retreat!
It did not. It had a... I don't know. They remodeled after this whole event. They did. They decided... I don't know. I don't have a joke. I really don't. It's weird. I don't know why... I used to be really good at this puzzle, but for some reason I have not been on my game lately. Wow, that was a try. I've never seen one.
Let's go!
You get an encounter if you hit the red one. I didn't mean to hit the red one, but I did. I don't want to hit the blue one either, or the orange ones, to be honest. Okay, so that opens the door. If you didn't get the Ring of Resistance, you have to hit the green orb on the right to get the Ring of Resistance that's in here, because you do need it for later. And then you have to duplicate it in here. Or you can duplicate it later, but as long as you duplicate it before Asmodeus. Maybe. But the other part of the Purgatorium is locked, so I don't know. Free Bosa warning. Oh. So this is, this puzzle is kind of different. We take the orange ones instead of the blue ones. And we're done with this place, and we're moving right along. We're gonna fight a boss here in just a second. Normally I would put Ilya back in my party, but these guys. Here we go. Oh no, we're surrounded. And that's the end of the Purgatorium.
Wish they could have lasted longer.
You can't die there, by the way. It's not possible. They can't kill you. So now they're going to tell us that since we have all the emblems, we can continue into the inner sanctum, if you will, of the Purgatorium. So we're going to continue on here. And we don't take anybody, we don't change anything here, we're just going to continue running around as Roddick. The enemies in here can actually deal battle damage to Roddick, and we're going to fight a couple of mandatory battles, but we're just going to go through here as quickly as we can, as we have through all the other enemies. It's a pretty complicated puzzle, I guess. The encounter rate in here is insane if you don't have the abilities that I have and the items that I have. It is nuts. It's really, really high.
We're surrounded.
Godspeed Rock. I Dragon Roar those guys because you saw him shoot me with a missile. Even if he shoots you with a missile and Roddick gets hit or blocks, the Dragon Roar will still hit and kill that enemy. The big guy you can just beat to death with a combo. We got the R card. The Rard, if you will, I guess. Godspeed is really good in this game. I get it because if I get a Godspeed proc on Revorce or on Asmodeus, I can kill him before he casts a spell. But I'm gonna do that fight a specific way, which makes it a little bit easier on me. Which is why I'm gonna put Millie in my party in a little while, because I need her to get a high level of haste and speed.
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Retreat!
Retreat!
See, I could be a voice actor. We could do that. Let's do that, guys. Let's make a game where I can be a voice actor. Let's just get a community project. Everyone else can do all the work, and I can just do the voice acting, and I can retire. It'd be great. I can do speedruns more often. I would recommend this game. This game is very good. It's a very enjoyable Star Ocean game, to be honest with you. I like this game. It's probably my third favorite game in the Star Ocean series. Star Ocean 2 is my favorite game ever. Like, it's just my favorite game of all time. So, yeah, you can get it on Amazon pretty cheap. I got mine for like $12, I think. The hard part is finding a PSP, I found, to be honest. But it's not too terrible. I got my PSP 3000, which is like, I guess, the last model they made, for about $70 at a local game store.
Let's go.
This I had to order offline, but I ordered it for about $15.
Retreat!
$16. Came with the case. It's got the book. It's nice. I got it off eBay though. I didn't get it off Amazon. Yeah, if you like SO2, you'll like this game. This game is solid. I wish Blue Sphere had come out here because that game was sweet. That game was really cool. I really liked that speedrun a lot. I was really glad I got to see it last night. And I think that game has the second. See, the Godspeed Proc is
Dragon roll. That was way too fast.
the thing that weakens this game is that the plot overall is not as good as it is in SO2. But as I said earlier, I think Blue Sphere having a plot of what it has is actually like really good. Yeah, the point of no return is a little silly, but the Super Famicom version doesn't have that. The Super Famicom version plays very similarly to Tales of Fantasia.
Let's go! Retreat!
I think it can be universally agreed. I know that people have their individual favorites of the series, things they like about the series, but I think it can be kind of one of those universally agreed things that SO2 is the best game in the series.
Let's go! Retreat!
Yeah, I agree. I think it's like the developer guys from, it's as if the guys who developed the Tales of Fantasia game for Super Famicom made the Star Ocean. Oh, there are no shops in the Super Famicom version? That's right. In this, there's a shop where you can buy every item in the game. Alright, so this puzzle's really hard. You press down and X to answer the question. It's really hard. I don't think SO3 is a bad game, I just think the ending is garbage. Alright. So this is where they explain what happened. So what happened in this game is there was the continent of Mu and the continent of Atlantis, and a meteor hit the Earth and opened an interdimensional portal and transported the two civilizations to two different areas. One to Roke and one to a planet called Fargate. The planet Fargate is garbage. It's a trashy planet. It's a hostile environment, all this other stuff. Roke is a paradise. So what happened is the people on Roke, who were the Muans, they were highly advanced, very similar to the Atlanteans. They made something called the Eye of Truth, which opened interdimensional portals in an attempt to get home. What they did, unfortunately, is open an interdimensional portal to Fargate, where they found the people in Fargate who were really angry that they got the short end of the stick, and they made Asmodeus a super being, genetically engineered, who decided he was going to conquer Roke and take it back for his people. And it started a big war. They sealed him off inside of an interdimensional rift. And that's where we are. And now Asmodeus is that problem. So now we have an item that opens interdimensional rifts and allow you to transport wherever you want. However, we're not going to use it that way. I did save almost a minute there, though. That's really good. I guess when you say post-twist, do you mean like the sorcery globe, or do you mean like the end of the game? Ronix comes back to life at the end of it. Or it's inferred that the Calnus is saved with whenever they go into it. So they just destroyed a town that you probably would not have visited in the game. Thankfully that guard got in there to interrupt what was going on. It was nice of him. It's inferred. The Calnus is shown flying over Expel at the end of the game, so I assume that when they did the crest of creation or whatever and stopped the crest of annihilation, it saved the Calnus as well. I could be wrong though. Alright, so we're gonna walk to Sylvalant, we're gonna go to an island, we're gonna fight a boss. And onward we merrily press. Oh, all the energy needs stuff? That's fair. I mean, if you don't like that stuff, that's totally fine. I'm not going to judge you for it, but I thought it was fine. SO2 has the best villains. And an RPG is only as good as its villains, kids. In my opinion. Yeah, you kind of do destroy everything in SO2. That was really good to not get a battle until right there.
Let's go! Retreat!
Oh. Coming into the home stretch. Only a little bit more to go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the deserted island, the place where the demons come from. Open a rift and go and fight Asmodeus to get his blood so we can cure the people of Rogue. That's the plan in the future. The future people of Rogue, not these people. These people are fine. What about Noel, am I right? Oh, that's not what we're talking about. Okay.
Let's go! Retreat!
Back in the old days, the infancy of this route, whenever I was first learning this game, we had to fight everything because we didn't grind at all. So, it was really unfortunate. But now we grind, so it's not like it's a big deal. So I'd fight enemies that were pretty strong later in the game that were kind of annoying. Alright, so we only got 2 battles on that walk. That's so good. That's never going to happen again. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple people in my party here in a second to get some experience out of this battle. We're going to open a portal to the demon world, and you have just a second to menu and stuff before you can, as long as you don't move forward. We got a world to save. Thanks, Millie. Thanks. Jump in. Everybody makes it in. It's no problem. There's no breaking rocks this time or anything silly. Yeah, that was pretty rough. When we first kind of routed this game without really having anything to go on, Asmodeus was nigh impossible to kill. It was really unfortunate, but we eventually figured it out.
This looks bad. This is tough. Dragon roar! I need that. Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Space. Dragon roar! Dragon roar! That was way too fast. Excellent.
I never had any problems with Gabriel, so I was level 255 with Claude before I beat that game. And had like whatever equipment I could find. I didn't have the Eternal Sphere though, because I didn't know about it, which I had in hindsight. I just used the tier.
This is tough. I hope we can do this.
No Godspeed proc, but Ilya got one. And that's why I have both of them, because Ilya can get there and hit enemies and bosses, just like as well as like a as a backup to Roddick. So I have 2 chances to get the Godspeed proc, and it just stunned the boss long enough for me to kill him. Yeah, I never killed I never killed Gabriel Celeste in that game, or Gabriel Celeste. I killed Gabriel Limiter off the first time I beat that game. So. We get a lightsaber. It's useless. So that weapon is pretty strong, and you can actually put it into a stronger weapon. But like you can combine it with the Philosopher's Stone to make a much stronger weapon. But it's Holy Element, and GA Reverse and Neo Reverse both absorb Holy Element, so we don't use either of those. So now we go back to Trop, and then we're going to go back to Sylvalant, and then we go back to the island, and I really need to use the restroom, which is really unfortunate. And there's no way I can hold it for that long. Oh, are they? Did you just make that up, or do you think that's really right? It all ties together!
Let's go! Retreat!
Yeah, I don't know why they I don't even know why they didn't make Crow the hero in that first game. Because he was like way cooler than Edge. He was just awful. Awful. Yeah, it's like every time you do anything with Edge, Crow's like, yeah, I already did that 3 times. Good job. No, I don't know. I didn't play that game that much. So Sylvalant, and then it's cool. It puts you right next to this guy, and then we're just going to continue on. Right to the deserted island. And then right back into here. Welcome to the Demon World. It's an interdimensional rift. I hope I remember where to go. This place always messes with me.
Let's go! Let's go!
Don't believe I went the right way. I didn't. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, cool. The directions are the worst part for me. So. Pretty much, even at the start of the game, he's all like, "Oh man, Crow's so cool. I wish I could grow up to be just like Crow." And I'm like, too bad he dies and you never find out how cool he is. So we got 2 boss fights coming up here in just a little bit. The first one is going to be pretty easy. We don't really have anything to worry about there. I'll save before the fights, though. I'll save before Asmodeus as well. The first fight, we're going to fight the eyeball enemy that we kind of fought earlier. And then some casters who are pretty easy to kill, so there's nothing really special there. Just going to blow them out. We're going to put Ilya back in our party just so she can run with things. We're going to try to kill the casters first, then kill the eyeballs.
We're surrounded!
This is unfortunate. I'm going to have to move. Which you can see how fast Roddick is now.
Retreat!
Going to get hit with Magnum Tornado, which doesn't get damage. Should get away right after that. No biggie. No biggie at all. Other guys can petrify you or turn you, paralyze you, one of the 2. So I didn't want to be anywhere near those little guys at all. So we're just going to keep on running right now. We're doing fine. I don't know why I never can remember the route through anything, apparently. Dang it, again?
We're surrounded! Retreat!
It's really unfortunate. I'm immune to petrification, but I can't remember if they petrify or paralyze you, so I didn't want to take any chances. Because I haven't saved in a long time, and it would be my luck to, like, die right there. Something that just never happens. So we're coming up to the end of this game. We've got this boss and then another dungeon, and then we're done, pretty much. We've got a huge plot dump coming up, and then we'll be at the end of the game. This is going to be Asmodeus, but first, a simple battle that we'll take here. That we have to take, because it is a boss. So. That's Asmodeus. Doesn't look very much like a Demon King to me, but whatever. Oh, I kill the casters. I try to kill the casters first, just because the targeting system in this game is a little
Enemies! We're
but I try to kill them first because they can cast spells.
Home of destruction!
I don't want them to cast spells.
Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
And now
Destruction! Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Home of destruction! Home of destruction!
a little bit late, but
Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
Home of destruction! Home of destruction! Home of destruction! Aw,
That
over
was a good
already?
fight. We're gonna go back and save for safety. Because I don't want to have to do that fight again. That was a really good fight, actually. Looks like a horny Diaz. Pretty much. So now we're going to be coming up on Asmodeus, and I'm going to do a little bit of a different strat here. I'm actually going to control Millie at the start of this fight, so I cast a spell. And we just took Illy out of the party because I was going to get probably one more battle at least
Let's go!
before I got to Asmodeus. And the Asmodeus fight, we're going to start off with Crush.
Let's go!
Yeah, high ones. Crush is going to hopefully cancel a spell animation and allow us to just kill Asmodeus very quickly. But we'll see. This fight can go kind of sideways. She anymore? She doesn't. Change some equipment around here. This looks like it's the last decent Star Ocean. Well, Star Ocean 2, second evolution, I believe, came out after this, so at least the port of that did. Okay.
Keep focused, everyone!
Be careful, everyone!
Wow, that took forever to load, just that price.
Power against power. I think I shall enjoy this.
Alright, I think I got it. Yep.
Crush!
Okay, so he wasn't casting anyway, but
Dragon roar!
oh,
Home of destruction!
did that just happen?
Home of destruction!
Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
Ah!
Home of destruction!
You should be ashamed of your weakness.
I had him stunned, and he came out of it really quickly.
Swallow everything into the void.
None of my rings broke. Okay.
Impossible.
None of my rings broke. Which
How
is
could
the
a
most important.
superhuman like me
He'll usually
lose?
get one spell cast off, but I didn't get a Godspeed proc, and then he went, like, he ran around, which was weird, and then he got, like,
Excellent.
right there, and he got, if he gets stuck between Ilya and Roddick, he's dead. He can't get out of there, so he's really fast. Revorce isn't as fast as regular Revorce, but he is as fast as GA. Or as a Neo Revorce. Alright, lots of mashing here. Yeah, he looks really normal in this game compared to what he looks like in the second game, or in the original game. So, what happened is, we defeated Asmodeus. Those guys were the guys who came in on the Celestial ship. They were trying to get to Asmodeus because they needed his blood for some stuff. So what they did is they teleported in after we defeated him to get his blood because they're going to make another version of him. We got his blood because we needed it to make the medicine, obviously. So that all worked out really well. And moving right along. We're in the home stretch now. It doesn't take up half your screen. Yeah, I wish he did, though. Be easier to kill then. So Dorn's good now because we've cured the disease. We've saved the world of Roke. And now we're about to find out the actual plot of this game. So it turns out the individual who was the third party that was involved with the destruction of that planet and the disease that eventually savaged Roke was a character named G.A. Revorse, who we have not met yet. So, G.A. is a superhuman, a metahuman who is created from the DNA that they took from Asmodeus just now. And he wants to wipe out everybody because he's still mad about the whole Mua, continent of Mu and continent of Atlantis situation. He's a brutal dictator. He's trying to conquer the universe. That's it. That's the whole story of the game. And what happened then was those guys who got there, they crashed in the Celestial ship to get to Roke so they could try to get the Lens of Truth, or the Eye of Truth. I said Lens of Truth again. Now it's going to happen every time. Yep. The Eye of Truth, so that way they could find Asmodeus and then kill him or get his blood so they could, because they couldn't create another one. And Asmodeus was trapped inside that interdimensional rift. Between the two areas. So now they've attempted to kill Revorse, but he's highly resistant to all kinds of things, explosions, lasers. So now we got to do it the old-fashioned way. We got to go in there and stab him. That's the plan. So now Ronix has decided that he believes that Ronix, who has already killed one superhuman and things like that and helped defeat one, can help you guys out. So he's going to come back to Roke. He's going to recruit them to go on an assassination mission, and that's what we're going to go do. We're going to go try to kill G.A. Revorse. And that's the plot of Star Ocean 1. So there you go. Yeah, Dorn is pretty useless. Iliad is the one who does Palm of Destruction, which is like a Shoryuken. Yeah. It's very useful. Man, I really wish I hadn't lost that like 6 minutes to see us. That really sucked. Because we would be about 6 minutes ahead right now. I have to do some equipping just really quick. I don't want the Ring of Resistance on him. I want the Hammer Charm. And it doesn't matter if it's on her or Millie, because Millie's actually going to lose her equipment in a second. So. Skills and skills. I need one more point in Haste and Speech, which should give her enough to where we'll be good to go. Oh no, that's not Deacon. Oh yeah. You're talking about the uppercut. I always. That is correct. Once you've killed Asmodeus, you cannot go back. So what I did is I took the Ring of Resistance off and put on the Hammer Charm, which reduces the amount of time I'll be surprised if I get surprised. And there are just certain enemies I hope I don't run into. Even though I should probably put the other thing on anyway. I'll probably put them both on just for safety at this point, because I'm not too worried about PBing, because I shouldn't be able to at this point. I'm about 40 seconds behind, which is really just unfortunate, because I had a pretty good item creation. So now we're going to go save Millie, who is captured, and go break her out of prison. That guy in the back there sells all manner of items over by that door. Very useful. You buy all kinds of stuff.
Good.
We're not going to worry about that, though. We don't need any other items for the rest of the game. We're where we need to be, as it were. It does put those people back in your party, so we just take them out. I should have remembered that. I didn't. I'm bad. I should equip the item I said I was going to equip, which is the Amulet of Flexibility, which will prevent me from being petrified, and we're on. And it tells you not to save here anymore, but we will save before we enter Revor's Tower. Just because. And again, encounter rate is lower just because of the extra stuff. You can get through here without getting an encounter, but
Let's go.
it's been rarer and rarer lately.
Let's go.
This is the final stretch, everyone. This is the end of Star Ocean 1 for PSP. There's really not a whole lot left to talk about, except we're just going to walk through these dungeons. We're going to fight the final boss. Have to hit these green switches. And then we're going to get into Super Famicom Star Ocean pretty quick after that. Which will be a nice little contrast to this. I do not. I intend to run Star Ocean 2, but I have not yet gotten around to it. And we're done with the prison. Only one encounter, which is pretty typical. Pretty typical. This is again more plot information. This is meant to steel you against Revorse. And now we're off. Millie gets put back in my party. We don't want Millie in our party. Level 35 cannot escape from enemies here. You have to be level 90. Which I guess is what they thought you'd be at. I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and save now. I don't think anything bad's going to happen. This is a pretty safe point in the game, so... to a place called the Biolab over here, which allows us to sneak into Revor's Town.
Let's go. Let's
As
go.
you can see, we can get away from that enemy without any problem, which is nice because if you were level 90 or level like 80 or something, you wouldn't be able to get away from that guy. You'd have to fight him. Yeah, it's pretty short. It's pretty short. Unfortunately, due to technical difficulties, we're going to be a little bit ahead or behind now. If you go over to that statue, there's a cutscene, but you can just skip it by sneaking through there like that. Rada gets really angry at this stage of the game. After seeing people suffering, I guess. I don't know. Alright, final dungeon. We're going to walk up this tower, very similar to what we did in Star Ocean 2. And then we're going to fight a boss. And then we're going to fight another boss. And then we're going to be done. So here we go. Final stretch. Teleporters here. Dropped 3% of my frames. That's really unfortunate. I do have to follow my notes here pretty rigidly because I don't know my way through here from memory. So. It's good.
Let's go.
It's a good encounter to get. You run from this pretty quickly.
Let's go.
The only enemies we don't want to see are the copies of Assyria Queen. That's true. You can always do the bonus dungeon, which I have no experience with in this game.
Let's go. Retreat.
Pretty worse tower, yeah, it's pretty terrible. Movement, bad movement is bad. I'm gonna save here as well. Okay, these enemies are the most dangerous, but I should be able to get away without a problem.
Let's go.
Alright, again, we're coming to the very end of this game. Next up is going to be Star Ocean 1 by Cryptonic, which is the Super Famicom version of this game, which is the original version of this game. Again, enemies that we're not super concerned about that we can easily run from.
Retreat.
There's also a cutscene in here where you can find out where the celestial ship came from. It's like a minute long, and it's out of the way, so obviously.
Let's go! Let's go!
Oops. This one? I always get that one messed up for some reason. I don't know why. Just do. Gotten a lot of battles in here. Normally it'd be about 2 or 3 battles less than what I've got. Almost done with this place. There's only like 2 more teleporters, and then the final boss fights.
Let's go!
Which are scary, but
Retreat!
it is what it is. Okay, so this is it. Final room before the last save point, which we'll say that just for safety. And I gotta do some equipping, and then we'll go ahead and go from there. Nope, not on this. Forgot to make Millie my leader, but I'll do that in just a second. You can still get a battle up here, but it's highly unlikely. Alright, so this is it. This is G.A. Revorse, and he's immediately followed by Neo Revorse, which is the final boss of the game. And then right after this, we'll have our next run. Which is going to be Star Ocean 1. Again.
This looks bad. Let's take our time here.
So he's got a little
Allow me
spiel
to
he says
grant
here.
requiem to the human race.
And again, we're just going to cast Crush. Oh, we got a Godspeed proc. He didn't.
Roar of
She didn't cast it fast
destruction!
enough.
Immortal Tempest! Unbridled storms, drag them into your pummeling
My ring broke. Which is really unfortunate.
Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
It says threat.
Destruction! Well, I'd say that.
Alright. I didn't get Crush off, which is unfortunate. I was a little bit slower than him. So here's an anime scene where they brutally murder this guy, who, as far as we know, has been minding his own business, to be honest. Gets kicked in the face, and then he gets slashed in the face.
What's going on?
Watch out!
Alright, we're not gonna beat him. That's okay. This is a pretty average one. Bad luck with CS. Otherwise, we probably would have gotten sub 3. Looks bad. Looks like he's got an infection. Unless this is like a really good Neo reverse fight.
This looks bad.
I hope we can do this!
Accept your fate and kneel down for your divine purging.
Okay. Crush is fast enough on this guy, which is important too. Use a witch's powder.
Dragon roar! Destruction! Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
Destruction!
Dragon roar! Dragon roar! I needed that! Dragon roar! Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
This battle has been decided. There is no
Unfortunate.
turning back.
It won't kill him because of the witch's
You
powder.
will sleep now. Sleep eternally.
It did a lot. You see how much damage it did, so.
Dragon roar! I needed that! Dragon roar! This is nothing! Dragon roar!
This is a bad fight. This is unfortunate that it went this way.
Dragon roar! Dragon roar!
Home of destruction!
Ah, Seraphic. This is the worst ability you can cast. It takes so long and does a lot of damage.
Bathe yourself in my light, you earth-ridden maggots.
Dragon roar!
Like, he's almost dead.
Destruction!
He's giving me a bad pattern and stuff. He's just being trolly.
Captain!
Roddick will res
I won't let your
because I used a
death be in
revival
vain.
card on him. And I need to go
Dragon roar!
Ilya.
I have to get back. We need some
This
backup.
is so unfortunate.
Home of destruction! Captain!
Open your
This
eyes!
has been a really, really bad fight.
Pure light!
Literally could not have been a worse fight. Literally could not have been a worse fight. That was a terrible fight. Alright, well that is it.
Did we do it?
Is he gone?
All he wanted.
Maybe that's the secret.